We are live. I'm Tim Gosnell. This is Lunch Money, the show where we talk about budgeting and money and life and how those all intersect. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined by my co-host and aunt, Melissa.
Hey there.
So thanks for joining us. This is episode 14B.
Yeah.
It's 14B because last week we recorded the episode and I felt great about it.
I felt great.
We turned off the camera. I pull up, I have the software where we're streaming and I look and I'm like, oh wait, there's a comment. Let me read what this comment is. Something's wrong with your audio.
We're like, well, that's strange.
Then I get a call from my mother-in-law, who's one of our faithful viewers. And I'm like, oh no, something is wrong. And so I put on the headphones and it sounds like a very hard to understand robot. Now you might think,
How is that possible?
Like the commenter did that, oh, that's probably because of some sort of technical glitch, some sort of compression issue, some sort of internet streaming issue. No. So the device that I use for audio, it is a Rodecaster Duo. It has a lot of vocal effects on it.
It looks very
compression,
fancy. Yeah.
all this sort of stuff, but it also has a robot voice.
Yes, it does.
And someone who I'm not going to name.
We're not going to name this person. It was not me though.
No, it wasn't. No, I did think when I was when I was going to say not going to name that they were going to think Melissa came in here and started pressing buttons. But someone came in and started playing around with it.
Yeah.
And turned on the robot voice.
Yeah.
And the system is like set it and forget it and just go. That is if no one's coming in and pressing buttons. And I haven't been checking the audio. So I'm going to like triple check the audio right now.
Make sure we're all good.
Comment
yes, please.
if you can hear us. I sound good here.
Okay.
No robot voice.
All right.
So we're good to go. So this is take 2. We've already done this before, but it was a good episode. So we're going to do it again. But before we get into it, the show's topic is, are you on track? Average net worth by age. And I'm excited about this. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun.
Melissa, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
It will be fun. We're going to have fun. So, but first, let's visit a little bit. How's it going, Aunt Melissa?
Well, it is going better this week. I had a little mini meltdown last week, as you well know. So I'm feeling better though.
Oh, that's right.
Did you forget?
I forget. It's just like
It's just typical. So I'm doing better.
Are you feeling? Are you really feeling better?
I am feeling better. Yeah. I'm using ChatGPT to coach me through how to not have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Which means like limiting my sensory input.
Yeah. One of which, she was taking some pictures and videos for our side business we have going on together, and her screen is black and white. I was like, something's wrong with the video. It's black and white. She's like, no, I've set it that way. So she has any colors coming at her.
I don't want colors.
So.
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing all right. I'm just old and grumpy. I'm old, grumpy, and tired. My back hurts. I need more sleep. I'm overwhelmed at work. But other than that, I'm doing great. Yeah, doing great. So we're getting ready for a vacation. Vacations always, they stress me out for multiple reasons. And I really have to try to intentionally chill out. This is a great vacation, by the way. This is a fun gift from my in-laws. They gifted all of their children a vacation.
That's so
and
nice.
We chose to go on a family vacation together. So we're going on a nice cruise. But what that means is I need to try to get all of my work done before that trip, which there's no way I'm going to get that done. And so I feel like this like deadline and pressure. And then I also, because I am a bit of a tightwad, I get stressed around spending money, even though they gifted us the money.
Yeah.
For
the vacation. Your money
it's
that
not
you're
even,
stressed out.
Yeah, I'm still stressed. But anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's just the lead up to it is a little stressful for me. So
once you get there, will you be okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Most likely. Most likely. But yeah, no, it's gonna. I'm excited about it's a cruise on like Royal Caribbean on one of their giant cruise ships.
Oh, nice, nice.
It's like a floating city in a mall and all that stuff. I like cruises. I know
you love a cruise.
They're not for everybody, but I'm a just relax.
Yeah.
Don't have to pull out your wallet. The agenda's kind of set for the day. It's nice. So anyway, that's that. Let's move on to. Special thanks to our new subscribers. So we have recently crossed over the 600 subscriber mark. Let me pull it. We have exactly 610 subscribers.
Nice.
We are on a mission to overthrow the Godfather, Dave Ramsey, and his channel only has 1 million subscribers. So we're over 1 million, but around 1 million. and we are at around not 1 million. So we have 1 million to go. So subscribe, join the channel, join us on our mission to just improve our lives financially, improve our lives with our finances, and improve the lives of people around us with our generosity. So join us there. We do have a comment that we're going to respond to. I'll let you read that.
Okay. Point systems. I'm assuming this is back on is it Fidelity?
Fidelity Rewards Visa.
All right. Point systems for cashback is actually tax beneficial depending on the purchases. I was going to say we just answered this. No, we didn't. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So I had to do some research for this one. And what I think I understand that he is saying is that points versus cash are tax beneficial. And so saying the cash is not tax beneficial if you were to get because the Fidelity Rewards card has 2% cash back on everything, no limit. And I like it because it's clear, it's simple, it's straightforward. But he's saying points are better than that because they're tax beneficial. Well, I did some research. I also phoned a friend, which is my accountant of close to a decade, and confirmed that there is no difference in points and cash back for tax purposes, especially for personal. Because if they're earned as a rebate for spending, they're both non-taxable. Okay. They're both non-taxable. The only case where they may be taxable for personal use is if a bonus for signing up, where you don't do any spending to then get that reward. So if you sign up and you get 500,000 extra points or whatever it is, then those may be taxable. But if they are, they should send you one of those 1099 type forms that you get for interest and those sorts of things from banks. So there may be some tax implications, but it's more on how do you earn those rewards than if they are cash back versus points. Now, the only caveat to that is, and the reason I had to do some research because I was like, wait a second, I think cash back or points are taxable, but I was thinking through the business standpoint. So if you are earning these points for business, which I earn the most of my points through business, then they're all taxable technically. Okay. So,
but if it's personal, you do not have to worry about it in either case.
Yes, and of course the caveat is this is not accounting tax advice.
Exactly.
This is a YouTube show, so please check with your own business professional before you make these sort of tax decisions. So that's that. Thank you for watching, Gecko, which we're big. Did I put up his comment? I did put up his comment. Yeah. Gecko 2405. We are big Gecko fans. We have 4 geckos in our household.
Yes, you do.
And we have a whole mealworm farm to feed them. Anyway, I'm guessing you're a fan of geckos as well. So thanks for tuning in. Let's see where we're at on our list of things to talk about. I think that's pretty much it. So we're going to move on to today's topic. Are you on track? Average net worth by age. Now, the point of there we go. The point of this is not to compare ourselves to people to feel great if we're ahead of the game or to feel bad if we're not on track with everyone else. The point is just to assess where we're at, right? It's to have that kind of knowledge and to just kind of know how do we fit in with our peers, not to look down on them or to look down on ourselves.
Last week was exposure therapy for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can handle it better this week.
Yeah.
Because
was that a part of your breakdown?
We're a little bit behind. Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully this will stir up some conversation. Now, here's the thing for this is I do look at this as a mirror. And if you already are coming into this being like, I know I'm behind, I think I'm behind, I feel like I'm behind, then you're not going to want to look in the mirror. But we cannot fix it unless we know where we're at. So we need to take some time and know where we're at and not avoid it. Because when we avoid things, they don't get better.
Yeah.
They get worse. So if that's you, and if you're doing good, hey, look at this and just kind of see where you're at and see if there's anything you need to improve and those sort of things. So let's just dive in with me. First, let's look at net worth and just what is that? It is your assets minus your debts. Said a simpler way, net worth is what you own minus what you owe. So if I owe $100,000 in student loans and I have $50,000, my net worth is $50,000. It's the remainder of that. So what counts as assets? Because technically anything we own is some level of an asset. So for me personally, I only include what's in my checkings accounts, savings accounts, and investment accounts, as well as business. So anything that's of significant value, and I'm saying significant value of $10,000 to $20,000 of value.
So you're not counting your cars.
I currently do not count my cars. Now, if you are somebody who's early on in your journey and your net worth isn't very high, it can be helpful just as like a little boost.
We're counting we're counting everything.
To include your vehicle, to include your home. I don't even include our home really, because the thing is we're going to need a place to stay and we're going to need transportation most of the time. So those are not assets that I'm looking at cashing out to live off of. Those are assets that I need to live. So when I'm looking at net worth, I'm looking at retirement assets. And although the house does provide some value, it's not value that I'm going to put food on the table with or pay bills with because I need it to live. So, and if at some point I am selling it, I'm going to need those funds to fund my living somewhere else, right? So either to buy somewhere else or for, long-term care or some sort of condo or, whatever that is. So also the title of the video, I'm saying average. These are technically median because I feel like median is more accurate to what we think of when we think of average. There is a mathematical difference. An average is a true dividing the total number of things and getting that number, where the median is the middle number in those list of things. And so there is a difference, but I think for us, it is the more accurate number because there are multi-millionaires and billionaires that are going to skew this for everybody.
And there's also people living off of $12,000. And that's,
So this helps give us what I believe is a more accurate, what I'm going to call average, but it's not technically the average. So it's median. All right. So we're going to look at this by age and the net worth. We have under 35, which I feel like this is a really broad range, a broad range of lifestyle, right? Like if you're 21 versus a 35-year-old,
it's a big difference.
It's a big difference. Especially if you're 18 versus 35. It's broad range in what you're going to be earning most likely, and it's a broad range of what you're going to have accrued if you've accrued anything. Especially let's say that you're 22 and you've just gotten out of college and you have $50,000 in debt. Right? Like you haven't started earning yet and you've accrued a large amount of debt. And so it's gonna skew things. So just know if you're at the lower end of your 20s and you're looking at the median net worth here, for whatever reason, the numbers that I was researching didn't include the numbers below for a group subset below this, like 18 to 25. Just know it's going to be skewed in that direction. So $39,000. And so that's going to be assets minus debts is $39,000, which I think not bad. If you're there, you're on average. If you're below that, you're below average of what the average person has. And that's okay, but you're below average. 35, like at this age, if we'll just talk about around 35. If you're going to have kids, you most likely have kids or getting ready to have kids. Your income potential, you're not at the early stages of your income. As 35 comes about, you're starting to make some decent money, and hopefully kind of getting your feet underneath you. And you could really start, if you've gotten your financial life in order, which this is around 30 to 35 is where I really started taking this seriously. And that's where you start to be able to get some momentum. Because even if you're really good with your money and you're 21 and you're making $20,000 or $30,000, it's only going to go so far. But then as you build that income and you're able to go up, you're able to do more with it. So now let's look at 35 to 44, 135,000. So we see quite a bit of a jump, almost $100,000 jump in average. And this is a stage where if you have kids, they're maturing. If you don't have kids, you should have a lot of free income, right? Like this is this and the next stage are going to be some of your highest earning potential, right? And if you don't have kids, you have the most free time. So if you don't have kids and you're in this stage, this is the time to just hunker down and really start getting serious about your finances, because we're approaching some of the next stages that are getting closer to retirement. So 45 to 54 is 249,000. So it's about the same jump, about $100,000, a little bit more than that. And again, we're getting closer and closer to retirement. So that number needs to be getting really, really serious. Now, here's where I'm thinking if I'm in this range, I'm like, we're in act 3, like as far as our working career coming into retirement. And that number needs to be looking closer and closer to what we want or need it to be expected to be in retirement. And so that number for me, when I'm looking at median net worth, is not where I would want that number to be as far as looking at retirement. So this is where alarm bells should start going off.
Because, spoiler, these are not what you should have. Like when we were first looking at it last week, it just dawned on me right when we hit about here of like, wait a second. This is not high enough.
This is average. This is not what you should have to be on track. So We're going to go over that next. Then we have 55 to 64. This is where some people may begin retiring, thinking about retiring, start working less, depending on where you're at financially and physically and all that kind of stuff. And now we have 365. These are pretty steadily going up just a little bit more. Now, here's the interesting thing. I haven't done this, but like looking at like, they're not going up as much as I think they should, because these people, as you start getting older, should have more income. You should be in some of your peak earning years, and you should also be benefiting from the compounding interest at this point. Like every 10 years, without adding anything, if these were well invested, they should just double. So 44 to 54. So that 135 should, if you have it invested properly, should be about $270,000. So something, I haven't put that together in our last video. Something's going wrong here. And my guess is that a lot of this net worth isn't invested well, or is tied up in real estate and is not going up as much as other things would, or it's getting, in the 35 to 54, I could see people taking 401k loans out, all of these different things that are just sucking up, because without contributing anything else, these numbers are still slightly low from where they should be. So that's a warning in and of itself right there. And then 65 to 74 is 409,000, and that's the smallest. That's the small, and that means that the people in this group have started using drawing it. Down. Right, they're drawing down on it, and they're drawing down on it faster than the interest is accruing. And so a couple of things that we want to talk about. So that's the bad news that Melissa gave us earlier, is we're looking at the averages, not where you should be to be on track. So we're going to look at that next, and we're going to make some assumptions. We're going to make an assumption of a retirement age of 65. We're going to make an assumption of a current retirement, like when you retire, your income is roughly $75,000 a year, which is the median income currently. And then we're going to assume that in retirement, you want to make 80% of your income at retirement, which is roughly $60,000. So that's the target, is that I want you to be able to draw $60,000 from your investments without drawing down on the principal, and the principal will slowly grow. So as inflation grows up, it's not $60,000, it's $60,000 plus 3% every year, roughly on average for inflation. So if you're under 35, the average net worth is $39,000, but where you should be is $150,000, which is 4 to 5 times behind. You need 4 to 5 times much of where the average person is to be on track for that. The other thing that we're not accounting for in this, and I just don't in my equation, is Social Security. There will be some level of Social Security. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't want to depend on it, because that's just a bad spot to be for something to change in the system and the laws and legislation and how things are distributed, and then just not have that as a resource.
You'd rather see it as a bonus.
A bonus, just something extra. It's icing on the cake. Don't have to worry about it. So, if you are in the upper numbers, 55 to 60, and you're looking at this, you're like, I don't have anything, I have very, very little. You're going to have Social Security if you've been working, and that's an option. But if you're younger, I just don't want you to depend on that. Yeah. That's not what we want to depend on. That doesn't want to be plan A, that wants to be plan B. And so the gap there is $111,000. 35 to 45 is the target would be, and these, I would say these are like minimums, are 375, which again is down $239,000. 45 to 54, $750,000, which is down $502,000 on average. And 55 to 64 is $135 million. Wow. So we're down almost $1 million behind. The target is roughly to get that, 60,000 roughly is the 1.5, and so the average person's off $1 million.
So, but you would say what these minimums that you have, that's ideal. You would end up dying with money, though, right?
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yes. With those numbers that I'm giving, you would die with everything going as planned. 1.5 million. You would die with that amount because you're only dying. Yeah. So there is a way you can up how much you're drawing, which will decrease your balance over time and end up dying with zero. So there's a whole range in that. But this is this is the starting point for me. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you're beginning on this journey, let's look here. And these would be like the minimum targets, because nothing ever goes to plan. You know, I like to shoot, you know, here, and then if we go here, it's better than the average. We're still okay. Right. Yeah. We're still pretty decent. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, if you're looking at this and you're overwhelmed, it's understandable. Just don't avoid it. Like, don't.
What? Give us a first step. So
the first step would does not require anything.
And it's automated.
Yeah, it's automated. It's easy. No receipt tracking. You don't have to save your receipts. You don't have to divide them up between all these categories. I've tried to make it as easy and sustainable as possible. And this was a system that I created for myself and I've been using for years. And it's been the best thing that that's ever happened for budgeting for me. And I've used a lot of different apps that are out there. And there's things that I really enjoy about the apps, but this is the most sustainable system. Mm-hmm. And so we want to get on that. Then after that, we want to focus on increasing our income, which I do have a couple of videos on doing that. And then just hunker down. So don't be discouraged. Subscribe to the channel. Let's do this together. You can do this. I'll see you next time here